Hello and welcome to Trading Supra. Today we're looking at FillFinder plus automation, and we're watching the Thursday's activity, January 18, 2018 in the March 2018 NASDAQ futures contract. And we're just going to look at how SUPRA FillFinder plus automation functions along the lines of a rather simple trading idea. The idea for this trade is we've got a session high, 68.26.5. The market pushed up and had very rapidly after that pushed away and has since stayed away. And so we can see the high is held for quite some time. And so it's a possibility that if the market is going to retest that zone at some later time, that we could see additional sell side pressure come in, and that could create for us an opportunity to make some money selling short. And so that's the quick take on the idea behind the trade. So 68.26.5 is the absolute high here. I would put my zone probably near the top of these couple of candles here. So 68.24 up here in FillFinder, resistance area, zone low 68.24, 68.26.5. Activate resistance, and now we can see our zone is highlighted up to the session high and then down to 24. Just looking at that area being a location where we could see sell side pressure come back into the market. With regard to quantity 1 and quantity 2, the primary difference is quantity 1 executes profit objectives that are smaller than the profit objectives assigned to the quantity 2 portion of the position. And so if you want to cash flow your position more easily, I would say, I guess that may or may not be accurate depending on the trade, but over time, if you take profit at the smaller profit objective, you are getting paid sooner. And then one of the variables you can control with FillFinder plus automation is you can control whether or not your initial stop loss moves to or near your entry price once quantity 1 has been filled. And so for an example, if you set your stop loss to move to your entry once quantity 1 has filled, then trading more contracts at quantity 1 means you would take profit on more quantities. Your stop would move to your entry with the remaining, and then if that stop is hit, you would spend the commission obviously on the whole position, but you would have very little loss, maybe some slippage, as they are market orders, but you would experience virtually no or very little loss on the remaining portion of your position, leaving you with some forward some money made on the whole idea in the first place. And so that's what I mean by cash flowing your position. And so we've got our zone highlighted. The market has pushed away and continues to stay away from this, and so we'll just have to wait for it to come back up and retest. And so in the meantime, FillFinder will work whether you're here or not. That's the beauty of automation. You're able to apply an analysis that you believe in over multiple markets rather than just staring into one market because you have to sit there at your desk. And so rather than staring at one market, you're able to put in zones that where the market's likely to turn, and then you're able to let FillFinder do the busy work while you manage the software. And so that's one of the advantages of trade automation. And so we'll just wait and see if the market's able to retest and how FillFinder behaves once it gets there. Okay, so quite a bit of time has gone by. Market is now pushed below 6,800, so it's had over a 25-point downward push. It's now creeping its way back up and almost near the zone that we input that I input 68.24 to 26.5, retesting the session high. And I just thought we could look to the left, look at yesterday. And so yesterday, a lot of upward movement, and market topped out in the 68.30s, but we can see a good cluster of activity took place in the late afternoon near where we are now, which the today's session high also fits inside that zone. And so we can just see a little bit of context there that the market has broken down below a cluster of activity. It's committed decently in terms of freedom of movement and also in terms of time spent trading below a potential barricade. And so for it to come back up here, and it just has, it's just touched the bottom edge at 68.24. For it to come back up into this zone and for us to anticipate at least the market slowing down, if not selling off again, just thought I'd show a little bit of the context behind just the session high as well, and show the thinking behind this trade a little bit. But as the market trades into the zone, FillFinder will then detect order flow activity. It'll look for a stopping event. It'll look for an imbalance, and lots of variables happen at very fast speeds, and it's very difficult to do it manually. But with some helpful algorithms, it can keep up. And so that's what FillFinder will do as the market, if it's able to spend some time in this 68.24 plus area, we'll hopefully see what FillFinder can do. Had some questions recently. If the market goes beyond the zone, will it still execute a trade? Yes, it will. If it's resistance and it goes higher than the zone, it will continue.
Order pending.
It will continue to look for and take a trade. And if it's support and it goes below support, it will do the same. And so the size of the risk also is not affected by the size of the zone you type in. So that's another question that's come up recently. Rather than that, the size of the risk is customized to each event. Each opportunity has its own structure, its own price span.
Order filled.
And so we can see now we've got two blue lines, larger.
Order filled.
Okay, larger profit objective down below, smaller profit objective up here. Our stop is this red line, which as time goes on, these do get bigger, but the stop moved to the entry. And so we can see a profit of a small profit objective of 4 contracts was reached, and then the larger target was not filled, and instead the stop was hit on the remaining 2 contracts. And so overall, the cooperation in this trade was not large, but did result in making some, looks like the average exit $24 3/4 on the smaller profit objective, and then the stop was at the entry. The entry was 25.5, and the remaining 2 stopped out at 25.5, and so a pickup of 3 ticks, and the trade is over. The risk has been removed, and a small profit has been had in this case. And so sometimes the profit objectives, sometimes it works out like this, where you're still able to make a little something and simply move on to the next trade, which is why having a good supply of trade opportunity is so important. And so if you have your own approach and you like it and you're happy with it, and you find zones where you feel to have a repeatable edge, then that's great. And if you're looking for more trade locations where you have a high edge opportunity, where the market is in a position where its likelihood to capitulate has increased, then we also offer training on that. So you can check that out on our website, tradingsupra.com. If you are interested in trade automation and order flow algorithms, you can also subscribe to our channel down below. And we'll look forward to seeing you at the next video. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.